Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Jack Tactical P, and today we are going to be doing a kind of who would win scenario situation kind of thing in Dragon Ball. So I found a website called Perchance.org, and I found it by looking for an online variation of the game Super Fight, which is a card game you can play. It's basically a game about arguing who would win between two characters, when maybe have some side effects like superpowers, alterations, and also the location could even matter. So I found this and I modified it to just fit specifically what we're doing today, and again, that's who would win between two Dragon Ball characters. And I went through and I wrote a huge list from everyone, from pretty much every character you can think of, from original Dragon Ball all the way up to even the new movie Dragon Ball Super Superhero, or at the time this video is being recorded, new movie. Um, it has some stuff from Heroes, GT, Super, Z, and again, original Dragon Ball, so there's a lot going on. And it can get a little wonky when it gets to stuff like heroes and stuff, but I don't think it's going to be too big of a problem. And I would say, obviously, some of these combinations will be a little bit not confusing, but I'd say arguable. Dragon Ball as a fandom is like a well-known fandom that's known for arguing like a lot. But it's fine. These are all my personal opinion. If you disagree with me, that's completely fine in the comments. However, if it's something super obvious, I might bite back a little bit. I don't know. I'm kidding. But let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, one more thing. What was I going to say? Uh, oh, yeah. Because everyone in the entire series is here, there will be some duds. And I mean, like, it'll be very clear blown out of the park. For example, let's take Giru from GT versus Beerus from Super. Like, he's just gonna flick him. He doesn't have to, he could just blink. So, Zeno's also in the pool. So, like, Zeno's just immediately gonna trump everyone until eventually a character's written that can't. Like, technically, the Toriyama bot from the manga could. But anyway, that's not important. What is important here is also, one more thing to stop people debating about this. There's no vagueness. I went through and wrote every single arc I could think of. What I mean by what I'm saying there is, there's a very, like, it's not just Goku. It doesn't just say Goku. For people like Zarbon and Nail, they've only appeared once, so it's not like you can have any argument with Zarbon or Nail. It will, one, say the word peak in front of them to show you they're at the top of their game from that arc, and two, it'll say what arc they're from. So like, or Saga. So like Saiyan Saga Goku versus Saiyan Saga Vegeta at their peak, meaning they're completely healed up, they're completely to their fullest power they can be at, you know what I mean? So there should be no debate with some of these. If there are, again, that's completely fine. And again, it'll get iffy when it comes to like Super versus GT if that does pop up. But I'm sure we probably won't have that. But hey, who knows? It's literally all based on chance. It's random. And again, I will quote one more time. While I wrote the character list, I did not make the generator for this. This is the Super Fight generator. I'll probably link it in the description. However, I don't know if the generator is... I'm not saying it's illegal, but they took the name Super Fight, which, again, is a card game, so I don't know if they could do something legally, but I changed it to modified it to specifically fit Dragon Ball only. And there is a version I could play, or there is some code I can add to it that was already there that has things like adjectives, locations, modifiers, like one character has like only one arm, you know what I mean, or can regenerate like a Majin, or has Kaioken. Like, I can add that. However, for now, so there's like as least, or not least, the least amount of debate potential possible. Not that I don't want that. I do want that. I want some interesting ideas. Like, to start out, I didn't want like a heavy, complicated one. I just put Zarbon and Nail from Namek Saga. Literally because I couldn't think between... I was going through a whole bunch of these. Were like, this is either completely uninteresting of a matchup, or it just wouldn't make sense. I know not all of these will make sense, but you'll catch what I mean as you start seeing some of these. For example, Zarbon and Nail. I remember Zarbon like rolled Vegeta at first, but then he got a Zenkai and just came back and rolled him back. And I think Nail held up against just base form Frieza for a while. Honestly, I think I would want to give this to Nail. My memory on the Namek Saga is a little bit rough. I don't know. I'd say Nail would probably win this. But let's go ahead and do another one. Okay, so Piccolo Jr. obviously means original Dragon Ball and future Android 17. I really don't think there's even a debate here. Clearly, you know, original Dragon Ball Piccolo would probably get rolled by future Android 17. Like, that's just something that wouldn't be even a chance. That's several arcs past original Dragon Ball, several, like, at least, well, a lot of years, actually, because Trunks is, like, at least a teenager by the Future Saga, and he's didn't show up until about the time that Frieza passed away, so nice. Because he was literally killed by Trunks. I don't know why I said passed away. Weird. Anyway, let's go to another one. Peak Tournament of Power Vegeta versus Peak DBS Manga Vegeta. Okay, so this was... Okay, so obviously Manga Vegeta comes after, so it would clearly automatically mean just through power it'd be that Vegeta. But there's a reason it's written like this. Peak Manga DBS Vegeta was written before the end of the Granola Saga, or arc, and I didn't want it to be confusing. I have not went back and updated it, but I did add the characters from Superhero, and then also a few characters from Granola's arc, but it just says Peak. That way it just wasn't super vague. So if it's a Peak manga character, I think the only 3 that are in here are Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza. And if you've read the last chapter of the Granola arc, you know why Frieza is listed among them now. Anyway, oh, and I think I added, obviously, like Granola and Gas. Those are, like, the only characters that actually matter from that arc that can fight, potentially. I'd put Bardock, but, like, there's no point. I think I put Broly movie Bardock on here, and he's not. I'd say he's just as strong in that movie as he probably was in Granola Saga. I don't know. There hasn't been enough for me to see, personally. I'm not probably knowledgeable enough to judge that. I don't care. We're not talking about Bardock right now. We're talking about DBS Manga Vegeta, which means the current... where it's at the end of this video, the last chapter of the Granola arc is literally the last thing that has been shown. So with that being that, I would obviously say the thing that's past that Vegeta would win. So the second would win in this case. Next. Pui Pui and Cell Saga Gohan. So Pui Pui is the character from Majin Buu Saga that they just fight. He's like a henchman that kind of looks like... Who does he look like? Kind of like third form Frieza, right? Like, with the head dome and has, like, 2 spikes on the back and has the M on his forehead because he has, like, the Majin symbol. Cell Saga Gohan, like, killing Cell from Cell Saga Gohan. I don't think Pui Pui is actually that strong, was he? From memory, I don't think he was that strong. I think he'd, like... Who killed Pui Pui? I do not know who killed him. Huh. Someone in the comments, remind me, was Pui Pui strong? If he was, would he win this? I don't know, y'all decide. That'll be a fun one. I really don't think he would, though. I'm pretty sure, like, Cell Saga Gohan, when he just murdered Cell, would be topping a lot of things, but my memory, which I know it's a really obscure character, but my memory does not suffice here. That's really specific. My apologies. Alright, moving on. Okay, I know that's written weird. The special of Bardock is the one where he flies up to Frieza and then gets bombed. So, Demon King Piccolo, After Wish. So, young Demon King Piccolo versus Bardock from the special. Bardock didn't really... He fought, obviously. He turned into a giant monkey and destroyed an entire civilization with a few other Saiyans. But Demon King Piccolo kind of can level cities. Bardock did that as a giant monkey. Because Demon King Piccolo doing the wish was roughly... See, how old was Goku in that? Because there's like... I think he was between, I know, 12 and 14, I think. Because there was a couple manga chapters that he changes what age he is. So it's about 14 years after. Bardock was definitely stronger than Kid Goku at the time, right? Whenever he fought Demon King Piccolo. Well, how significant was the power boost Goku got from that water he drank? Because I remember he drank water to beat Piccolo. Even though they completely said he didn't even need the water originally, but then he went ahead and drank it anyways, and it actually did something. It was the sacred water they used in GT too. It was the same water, I'm pretty sure, right? I don't know. Anyway, I think Bardock would be stronger. Because he's like... He's still a low-class warrior, but he's like a trained Saiyan. And like... No, did Dodoria beat him? Dodoria beat Bardock. And Dodoria's beat a lot of Namekians. Wait, no. Dodoria beats up his squad and then leaves, and then Bardock... No, someone beats up Bardock, too. Was it Dodoria? I don't remember. I'm having trouble remembering. I kind of want to say Bardock, but I'm not exactly sure, because I don't think Demon King Piccolo was, like, really... I mean, he was strong, but I don't know if he was trained Saiyan strong. But then again, low-class warrior. I don't know, maybe I'll make that another comments one. Y'all decide. Android 21 Evil Majin form and Android 19. Okay, so Android 19's the clown one. Versus someone who's absorbed not only Frieza, but Cell as well. And Nappa, if that matters. I would say... Wait, no, is this before she does that? Either way, Vegeta literally rolls him in Super Saiyan 1. His first debut of Super Saiyan 1. Yeah, I think she'd win. Not much of a competition. Peak Majin Buu Saga Vegeta versus Mira. So Mira's the android from Xenoverse and also has some showings in Dragon Ball Heroes. I should have been more specific with Mira, because Mira has a couple forms. Considering he starts out just like normal, but then he has like a weird white Super Saiyan 4 looking thing after he absorbs Toa. I kind of want to say Mira, but that's also, I don't feel like giving it. I don't want to just give that to him because I wasn't brought. That was another example. I wasn't specific enough, which is always why I try to be super specific with this. So I'm gonna say Mira, but if anyone would like to give a case for Vegeta, I'm totally willing to accept that. Because Mira, like with the time fuckery bullshit, is just, I remember like he's literally the final boss of Xenoverse, or I mean, he might not be the final boss, but he's like near the end of the main story. Like he's a pretty major. You know what I mean. So I'm gonna say Mira. If anyone would like to make a case for Majin Buu Saga Vegeta, please go ahead. 30 Red Ribbon Army soldiers versus peak Chaozu. Yeah, there's the other thing with the first thing. Frieza soldiers, Red Ribbon Army soldiers, Cybermen, Cell Juniors, and Metal Coolers are the things that will have multiple of. So like a certain number of. Because there were times where they fought more than one of these. I don't think there's like 50 Cell Juniors or 50 Cybermen. There's like the maximum number that was actually like planted/made. But for like Metal Cooler, there's a bunch of. I think Chaozu's... I want to say Chaozu because he could actually beat 30 adults with guns. I could see that. You know what I mean? I think he can do the Dodon Ray, 1, which is a pretty powerful ability. And 2, I'm not saying he's bulletproof, but I'm sure he could be fast enough, honestly. Like, not that Chaozu's like a great fighter. I mean, he shows up to things. Like, honestly, the most he's done is try killing himself to beat Nappa, but he used to do some things in River. I'd say he'd be pretty fast. I think he'd probably take out 30 River Army soldiers. Again, by the way, if anyone has any doubts on this or like wants to say otherwise, I'm willing to. Like, I don't have a problem with that. I'm okay with being wrong. I'm just trying to think of what I do remember off the top of my head, which it's been a while, so I totally accept being wrong here. Next, 2 Cybermen versus 100 Metal Coolers. This is a good example of one that's, 1, really obvious who would win, and then 2, the number thing I was just talking about, because this is literally 2 of them against each other. However, it's incredibly unfair. So we're going to go to the next one, and just... I'll leave that for you guys. Sounds good to me. Next. Timebreaker Bardock without the mask, because that's what free means. Peak Cell Saga Vegeta. Timebreaker Bardock without the mask could go Super Saiyan 3. Cell Saga Vegeta... I mean, Super Saiyan 1... Wait, did he get Super Saiyan 2? I think he did... He didn't hit Super Saiyan 2, because that was Gohan's thing, then. Did he do the buff Super Saiyan, though? Like the... Ascended, whatever it was. I think it's Ascended. Or Grade 2 or 3, whatever they call it. I think he could do that, but either way, I'm pretty sure Super Saiyan 3 Bardock would be able to beat Super Saiyan 1 Vegeta. I don't think there's contest there. My personal opinion. Moving on. Mr. Popo, peak Dragon Ball Z Krillin. Okay, now... Mr. Popo's kind of just shown doing things occasionally. My question is, like, whenever looking at, like, Mr. Popo as a character, are we gonna count the times that he, like, handled Goten and Trunks in Super Saiyan 1? I believe it was just, like, a small sparring thing. I don't remember the exact situation, but he was able to, like... I think he blocked a couple punches from them, didn't he? I don't know if this is an anime exclusive thing either, by the way. There are times it specifies manga in this, if I know if I remember there's for a fact a difference, but from memory, I think Mr. Popo can actually, like, do things. I'm not talking, like, I'm not trying to bring up anything like abridged here. I mean, like, genuine, like, he's, I don't want to say the word sturdy, but I mean, it's not like he went and just fought, like, Nappa and Vegeta when they landed on Earth. Like, that's not what, he's not able to, but Krillin. Krillin's pretty good of a character in Z. Like, he does a lot in Z. He's pretty relevant up to, I'd say, Majin Buu Saga. Because a lot of people just drop off of Majin Buu Saga. I'd honestly say I don't know. Y'all decide. I keep saying that. I'm not just trying to make this all your guys' problem, but it's just like, I think these are kind of interesting things, you know what I mean? Maybe we should take off some of the vague characters for the next time we do this. Or I'll add adjectives. Maybe Mr. Popo Ultra Instinct might change it up, I don't know. Tell me what y'all want to see. Alright, next. GT Trunks or Super Buu Gohan versus Super Buu Gohan absorbed. Okay, so that's Super Buu with Gohan inside of him. Or GT Trunks. So GT Trunks is just Kid Trunks all grown up, and he didn't really, to my knowledge, I don't think he can. He kind of just became the president of Capsule Corp, and I think Vegeta calls him soft at one point. So I don't think he did a lot of training. I might be wrong about that. Again, I could be wrong with everything I'm saying right now. But to my knowledge, he was able to be brought in space along with everyone else. If I remember, was he the second? Okay, I know Pan wasn't stronger than him. But there is that one moment where she punches General Rildo and leaves a dent, and, like, Goku specifically states he's stronger than Buu. And Pan actually is able to, like, get some damage on him and surprises both Goku and Trunks. So, but I don't want to use one moment to compare the two. So I'm trying to just debate right now between Pan and Trunks, who, again, Goku claims she punched. I mean, she didn't beat him by any means. She just knocked him on the ground. He got back up completely fine. I honestly want to give it to Buu here. Because, again, Trunks ain't exactly, like, top fighter or GT or anything. He was just along with the ride. It was just an incredibly, like, situational thing that he got even dragged along in the first place the way he did. Because I think it was originally going to be, from memory, I think it was supposed to be Goku, Gohan, Trunks, and Goten to go to space. But then it ended up being Trunks, Goku, and Pan, obviously. I'm going to give it to Buu. Because I personally think Trunks wouldn't be able to handle Buu like that. Especially due to the fact that, one, Gohan absorbed, and then two, I don't think he'd be skilled enough of a fighter to do that. Not that he's not a skilled fighter, it's just like, you know what I mean. Alright, moving on. GT Goten, Broly from Dragon Ball Super. I'm gonna say Broly, because Broly from Super is really strong, and Goten from Dragon Ball Super, nah. Couple good, cool scenes where he helps fight some villains from hell, but the only time Goten from GT was honestly really relevant is when Baby took his body for a couple episodes, and then he just stole Gohan's, to which, again, he continued fighting, like, Goten continued fighting for there, but it wasn't even like Goten's fighting styles. The only time it's really shown, again, is when he fought Baby for, like, an episode, and then two, it's whenever, again, he helps fight the villains from hell. I want to give it to Broly, though, because, like, again, I shouldn't even have to describe that part and just say Broly. Like, not a lot of people on this list are going to be able to just beat Broly, so. Or this Broly, I should specify. Next. Oh, we had one that went by, but 5 middle coolers versus Birder. Middle coolers, immediately. I'm going to try and be a little faster with this. Both Dragon Ball Super, Android 17 and 18. This means Tournament of Power, I should specify. Zeno Gogeta. So, Zeno Gogeta, the reason I bring that up is because, or the reason it's written like that is because, one, Heroes, and then two, recently he was shown using, or not recently, but I remember seeing a video where he was using Super Saiyan 4 stacked with Kaioken, meaning he can push it all the way up to that. However, I honestly want to make a case for these two, because, for some reason, in Super, 17 can fight Blue, and I mean Super Saiyan Blue, and be fine. I mean, I'm sure Goku could have beat him, But the fact that 17 can just handle that. I don't know about 18. But I don't see why they'd be too different, like, too far apart in power. It confuses me. I'm confused. A lot of people are actually confused by that. I honestly kind of want to make a case for them, or at least 17 for some reason, specifically 17. But with both of them fighting, I don't know. I kind of want to say, you know what, how about we do this? Let's use the first turn. Let's use the first time of me doing this. Evenly matched. Okay, no, I don't want to say that. But I might start saying that for a few of these. This one is iffy, because again, Xenogogeta, they could just pull something out of his ass, a brand new form, out of nowhere. Probably shouldn't be using too much Ramiro's, now thinking about it. A lot of these are not very interesting, and a lot of these are really weird. But hey, again, if y'all can make a case for one side or the other, I'd love to see it. Next. Gohan from Dragon Ball Super Superhero, or Toppo pre-God of Destruction mode, meaning he did not do it yet, and he's just a big bearded man who looks like Dr. Eggman. And Gohan with the new transformation from Superhero. I don't think this is much of a competition, considering Piccolo or Gohan, don't remember off the top of my head, but one of those two specifically says word for word that Gohan beat someone that both Goku or Vegeta could not beat. So I'm going to go ahead and give this to Gohan. I don't think there's much of a chance for Toppo to just roll up with this, but hey, who knows? Next. Peak Dragon Ball Z Tien or Android 20, which I believe is Dr. Gero. I think I kind of want to give this Tien, because like Majin Buu Saga Tien, like he's trained that much. He did a lot of training in the background for a lot of things. Like I don't think Tien's just super strong. Like, well, he's strong as a person, yeah, but like a lot better than Yamcha. The way I see it, he can do things like, he can do everything he did in the Tournament of Power. Still, like, I don't think anything he brought to the Tournament of Power was new. He used anything he already had in his abilities. I'm not saying use Tournament of Power Tien to scale this at all, but anything he did there, he definitely could do against Dr. Gero. He either just didn't, or there was not a reason to at the time. I don't remember the exact times every time he encountered him. Every time Gero was running away, I remember that being a huge thing. But I digress. At the time of original Tien, or when Tien and Gero meeting, I also don't think Tien could have beat him. But when Tien's able to hold off Cell pretty well, hold off is the key word there. Because I really don't think Tien could have beat any of the androids in Cell Saga. But does the time skip to Majin Buu Saga give him that advantage? Did he train for that tournament that everyone went to? Was he in that one? The one that, like, Goku and Vegeta and all of them were in. Angel Goku was in. Did he train for that? Because if he trained for that, I'm giving it to Tien. Or not for that, but if he trained during that entire time, I'm giving it to Tien. If he didn't, I'm going to give it to Gero. I feel like Tien can do it. With more training. Not Cell Saga Tien. But we're talking about end of Z Tien. And I'm not talking... Well, actually... On technicality, end of Z does count for peak Dragon Ball Z Tien. But I'm specifically talking about like end of Majin Buu Saga Tien. And I'm not meaning when Goku meets Oob. I mean after they Spirit Bomb Buu. Alright. I'm going to give it to Tien if he trained for that. Just throughout that entire time. If not, Gero. Peak Cell Saga Gohan, peak Future Trunks Cell Saga. Okay. Cell one-shots, or the Cell that Gohan killed, one-shotted Trunks. Sure, Trunks wasn't really on his guard for that attack at all or anything. And even could have, I don't know if he could have handled it if he was transformed and like had a whole bunch of like protection up. But I will give it to Gohan, because like Gohan pretty much outshined everyone at that moment whenever he again killed Cell, which again I'm going to count as the peak of Gohan for Cell Saga. So I'm going to give it to Gohan. Again, this is one of those things where it's like comparing directly from the same saga, it's pretty... At least it's easier with people from the same saga. Like, if I get two Cell Saga characters, it's pretty easy, because you know probably they've had a chance of being right next to each other and can be scaled next to each other. So I'm going to give it to Gohan. Let's see what the next one is. 50 Metal Coolers, Namek Saga Frieza. Okay, obviously Metal Cooler. 50 of them. That's pretty big. Like, next. Lord Slug After Wish, so he's young again, versus a handful of Frieza soldiers. Slug. Just Slug. Cooler's Armored Squadron versus GT Trunks. So this is... I've seen his name, the French one. The French one. I don't remember any of their names off the top of my head. Is one of them like Dore? Like D-O-R-E? I know what they all look like. There's one with a really weird neck thing. There's the French one. And then there's the one that's like big with black hair and I think is green. GT Trunks I feel like could handle this one. Something I want to mention about GT real quick actually. In the intro he has a sword. In the actual anime though, I don't think ever uses a sword. I thought that was kind of funny. So... I'm not saying a sword would change this at all. I'm just saying, I just remembered that. I'm thinking, like, did he have that as an option? But no, he does cut someone in half in, like, the intro, though. But not in the actual line of episodes. I'm gonna give it to Trunks. That's, like, I feel like he'd actually be able to beat them, because they beat a lot of space henchmen in GT. And Cooler's Armored Squadron wasn't any different from, like, a lot of the standard ones. They just had special abilities. Next. Nappa versus Dodoria. Dodoria would win, mainly because he was... Wait, yeah, Frieza and Dodoria... Or not Frieza, Vegeta and Dodoria fought, and Dodoria was, like, leagues above even Vegeta. Well, not leagues above. He was above Vegeta at the time that Nappa was killed by Vegeta. So, I'm going to give it to Dodoria. Next. Tapion versus King Cold. So, I believe Tapion is who... Okay... I really wish they do a single special where Tapion hands Future Trunks the sword, because that sword is what killed Frieza, because apparently everyone says, oh, Tapion gave Trunks the sword. No, Tapion gave Z Kid Trunks the sword. When did he give Future Trunks that sword? Please give a special just showing. I know he's non-canon. They did it with Bardock, though, and they made another special with Bardock. They can just make a 5-minute special of Tapion doing the same thing with Future Trunks and giving him the fucking sword. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up is because Tapion had some sort of encounter with Kid Trunks. Tapion also was in a movie in Majin Buu Saga by that point. Pretty far ahead, and usually characters that are introduced with sagas are at least a basic, at least power level above the previous saga. And King Cold was the beginning, the very beginning of Cell Saga / Android Saga. I really think Tapion could solo King Cold. King Cold isn't shown doing a lot ever, he just talks and tries slicing Trunks in half once, I believe, with his own sword. However, I think Tapion could beat him. An extremely skilled swordsman, which that's apparently all it took to kill him the first time. I'm talking about King Cold again. I don't think it'd be much of a competition. Next. Vegeta with Babidi's mind control versus Pete Kefla. So, a Potara fusion against a raged out Super Saiyan 2. That would be two Super Saiyan 2s at the moment. That, like I said, Kefla hasn't had any more transformations since Tournament of Power at this current time of recording. 2 Super Saiyan 2s, however, one is a literal Potara fusion. Of people that are also... well, 1, Super's whack-ass power scaling, and 2, Tournament of Power. That's a very big time skip between the two, or time jump between the two. I'm going to give it to Kefla. No competition. Next. Babidi versus Future Gohan with one arm. So, I believe in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. You can actually play as Trunks throughout the equivalent of his Buu Saga. And Buu's never revived, I don't think. But the reason I'm bringing this up is I think, does Trunks kill Babidi in that? Is Trunks the one to kill Babidi? Because I don't think Babidi is, like, super strong as a creature himself. He just kind of has other people do his own thing. He's an incredibly skilled sorcerer, yes, but is he actually, like, strong? Because if so, it could just be one really decently strong Kamehameha and just wipe him off the face of the planet. I kind of want to give it to Gohan. if there's some sort of whack-ass ability I'm forgetting about, because I remember he like blew up a couple people's heads, didn't he? I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about, I think Gohan could just blow him away with one blast if Babidi doesn't have some tricks up his sleeve. If I'm forgetting something, please let me know. Next. 2 Cell Juniors versus Kami. Cell Juniors are incredibly strong in terms of, like, just strength alone. I believe, didn't Cell, like, say they were his exact strength? No, he didn't say that. He said something about them being... He gave an equivalent. I don't think Kami could stand up against them, though. Mainly because Piccolo... I don't know if Piccolo just got Kami's strength on top of him when he absorbed him, but Piccolo, who would be stronger than Kami, I think had a problem. I think Gohan had to, like, stop the Cell Juniors from fucking with the rest of the Z Fighters. So if I remember correctly, I really think the Cell Juniors would win here. Next. Future Android 17, Frieza versus Resurrection F. Frieza versus? Or did I say Frieza versus or Frieza from? Anyway, either way, Frieza. Easily. Golden Frieza. Not even, doesn't... I don't even think he'd need that, would he? Like... I don't know, would he? He shouldn't, right? With 3 months training alone, Frieza's at least stronger than... Because whenever he was revived, he was as strong as he was whenever he fought Goku on Namek. Maybe even a little bit stronger, considering the knowledge of, you know, actual combat. I don't remember what the fuck I'm trying to say there. Experience, combat experience. I'd give it to Frieza, but I was just trying to think if he needed Golden or not. I don't think he does. I don't know which form he'd be able to do it in, but probably wouldn't need Golden. Next. Peak Frost or 2 Cybermen? Cybermen. Definitely. Why not? No, I'm kidding. Frost. Next. Super Buu, but pick who he absorbs versus Janemba Demon form. Okay, so this is like the Super Janemba, basically. Pick who he absorbs. Huh. That's kind of like a... You can just pick someone to make him win. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit begin again. And I'm going to see who it says. The first person, the person who's in Super Buu spot, is who he absorbs. I don't just want to pick someone because I could just say Broly or, you know, Zeno. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm going to hit begin again. And I'm going to use whoever the first person in the slot is. Discuss it, and then we're going to discuss the next round. Which is the next one and the second one. So, Super Buu with Garlic Jr. after Immortality absorbed versus... Okay, so hold on. I think that would just give Super Buu Immortality. I would give it to Super Buu in that case, but that's just me. Because, like, I'm pretty sure there's, like, a huge debate over Buu versus Janemba anyway. I would give it to Buu, personally. But... Because, again, here's the thing. What's stopping Buu from just eating Janemba? That's the thing whenever Buu's fighting someone. He could just do that. You know what I mean? So that's my answer to that, personally. If you disagree, please leave it in the comments. I'd love to see it. But Garlic Jr. after Immortality versus Toppo post-destruction mode. He has the Hakai, or can at least destroy things, I believe, correct? And I think Hakai gets around Immortality, doesn't it? Or does it not? What am I thinking of? Am I thinking of the manga scene where Goku's blasting Zamasu with it? I think that's what I'm thinking of. And I don't think it worked then. Or I think it got stopped midway. I don't remember. Did Garlic Jr.'s immortality give regeneration? I don't remember a scene of him regenerating. I don't know, it probably doesn't matter, but, like... I can't think if it did or not. Either way, though, like, Toppo could just punch him once and he'd be down, but, like... I don't know if... I'm gonna give it to Toppo, even though, like, again, immortality's pretty big, but... I don't think Garlic could do anything. He's way before his time. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Toppo, even though, again, I don't know how the immortality would factor into it. Let's just go to the next one. It's getting a little complicated. Goldo versus Bulma. Well... that would be pretty quick. Literally, it'd be instantaneous. Time stop's a crazy thing. Next. Tournament of Power Gohan, or Namek Saga Gohan. Again, just by timeline. Tournament of Power. Next. Pete Granola versus Goldo. Now, does the time stop save him here? If Goldo knew how to use it correctly, maybe. However, I'm going to say no. I'm going to give it to Granola. Because Granola just wished to be the strongest in the universe, so it kind of just automatically makes him that. So next, and also, I don't think that, did you guys really think there should be even a debate there? I didn't even need to say anything. I could have just said begin, or just next, and just went with it. But anyways, next. Imperfect Cell versus Peak Future Trunks Cell Saga. This actually happens, if you remember correctly. He goes back to his timeline, just annihilates Cell. So, there's your answer. Trunks wins. The Para Brothers versus Three Metal Coolers. I believe the Para Brothers made people exhausted through dancing. So if you have robots, I don't think that would do much in terms of exhaustion. Doesn't Metal Cooler just fire something from his eyes in the movie? The Dokkan at least uses a card where he just fires something from his eyes. I think they'd just be able to do that and annihilate them. No contest easily. I feel like I'd go to the Metal Coolers next. Okay, next. That's easy. Great Saiyaman versus Pete Kale. Kale again, but wait, no, this is Kale, not Kefla. Either way, Kale, Legendary Super Saiyan, and Great Saiyaman Gohan. Technically, I should specify with Great Saiyaman because there's Buu Saga Great Saiyaman, Tapion's movie Great Saiyaman, and then there's the few seconds he dresses up in that in Super. I think he does it once for Determinative Power and then once for a movie in Super, which I think is filler, but still, it matters in terms. I don't think it matters here at all, because I don't know if Gohan could beat... I think in the manga, Gohan beats Kefla, though. I'm going to say Majin Buu Saga Great Saiyaman, because that's when he did it the most, just the costume. And with it being Majin Buu Saga Great Saiyaman, I don't think Kale would be able to beat him, because this is before, Ultimate Gohan. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to Kale here. Next. Lord Slug. Just old-ass Lord Slug with a Fruit of the Tree of Might Turles. Turles, easily. Next. I'm going to give this to Toa. I don't even have to read the first one. Toa from Xenoverse. Just go back in time, just make sure he's not born, and just hope a time controller doesn't stop her. Bam. I obviously there'd be a fight there, but could Krillin do anything? She could just slap a mask on him and just win immediately, right? I don't know. I'm gonna give it to Toa though. Next. 100 Metal Coolers versus Android 20. So Dr. Gero versus 100 Metal Coolers. Very clear it would be the Metal Coolers next. The Para Brothers versus Mr. Satan. Never before have I met just a challenge in my head that I never knew needed to be done. So Mr. Satan, I'm gonna go ahead and say let's act like the word peak is written here, because it's definitely not GT Mr. Satan, and I think that would be the most interesting thing. Not really, it'd be stupid as hell. But because Mr. Satan doesn't have any gimmicks, he definitely loses to exhaustion. But it'd be very stupid. This would be like a thing that he would fight whenever he used to do the fake wrestling things he did. You know what I mean? This would be a great thing to watch, for the people who like fake wrestling and stuff like that. Or I should say wrestling, because I honestly think Mr. Satan did some real things. I'm not saying wrestling's just fake. I mean, it's obviously staged, but they actually do things. So I don't want to say fake here. I'm not trying to trigger people. Not fake, staged, yes, but still entertaining. That is what Mr. Satan did. I believe he also did actually break some stuff with his head, like every other person who says they can do martial arts. But that'd be a really interesting thing that you could just watch on there. I'm going to give it to the Para Brothers due to their just ability to make people just super exhausted. But that is interesting. Moving on. Garlic Jr. After Immortality versus Kid Trunks. Again, I really need to take off that immortality part. Because, it raises more questions than needed, but I also don't feel like Garlic could do anything. Again, Kid Trunks is just strong as a person. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next one. Peak GT Goku versus Vegito from Dragon Ball Z. So GT Goku at his peak can use full power Super Saiyan 4 versus a Super Saiyan 1 Vegito. Super Vegito, basically. Okay. So now let's look into the benefits of Super Saiyan 4. Because here's the thing, sadly GT Goku is still in a kid body, however again he's able to easily beat someone who, as a mini boss, is as strong as Boo, before he fights any of the 3 arc main villains. I want to give this to GT Goku. Mainly because it doesn't have, GT does not have a ridiculous jump to power scaling as Super, I feel, but it does have some ridiculous power scaling in it. Again, giving it to Goku, on the sheer fact alone that, I'm not saying, immediately, Legic. I think that was, the first actual villain they fought. Minor villain they fought in GT. I'm not saying he's stronger than Boo. I'm just saying again, they set a standard for people to come later in the arc. So, for example, Mecha Frieza set a standard for the androids. Super strong, eliminated very quickly by Trunks, who sets the real standard. Not saying, again, Legic's someone we should go by. I'm just saying, by the time Rildo shows up, already stronger than Boo, took him a really long time to beat Rildo again, but by the time he rolls Baby, 17, and the Shadow Dragons, which he had to fuse to make Gogeta to do that, but I'd say it'd be Goku, honestly. Next. Ginyu versus King Cold. Okay. Ginyu himself, not that strong of a person. Body change. Body change. I don't think there's a power limit on body change. Here's the thing. The reason I feel like Ginyu didn't just body swap Frieza and just rule the galaxy is because he just respected his position for some reason, which is really weird, but okay. I guess respectable in some way. I want to give it to King Cold in terms of combat, but if Ginyu can pull a body change off, it immediately goes to Ginyu. So you guys decide if he body swaps or not in the comments. If not, Cold. If so, Ginyu. In fact, that's pretty much how every Ginyu one's gonna go, honestly. Unless it's Bulma versus Ginyu, which happened, actually, How did she change back? I don't remember. That was a filler arc, wasn't it? Didn't she change bodies with Ginyu for a bit? That was a really specific example, but then I remember that happened. I don't know. Giving it to Cold, but if body swap, giving it to Ginyu. Next. Cumber from Heroes versus Majin Buu Saga Gohan. Cumber because I'm pretty sure he fights Ultra Instinct Goku. Specifically while in Super Saiyan 3. I think they have a fight, don't they? So I'm going to give it to Cumber. Even though Majin Buu Saga Gohan's pretty strong. Next. Frieza from the Tournament of Power versus Android 21 Good Majin form. With Android 21 being kind of non-canon, this one isn't as easy to scale as the previous one where we had her. Frieza from the Tournament of Power is strong. He can go golden. That's an example. He's also dead, but we're going to ignore that part for now. 21... I want to give it to 21. Due to the fact that, and this is on the technicality of, comes right after the arc, sets a standard, probably really strong. However, in the story of Fighters, she makes everyone at the same equal power level as Krillin. No, Yamcha, technically. So... And it is the Frieza from right after Tournament of Power, by the way, because I'm pretty sure they mention Tournament of Power, don't they? I don't know if they do. Or is it before Tournament of Power? It's before or after. I don't know. I don't remember when Fighters kind of fits. Kind of like how the movies don't exactly fit. I don't remember where Fighters doesn't exactly fit. The story of it. I don't know where to put it. Is it? Beerus is definitely in it. The story mode, right? I don't know. I don't remember. I'm not going to question it anymore. I'm going to give it to 21. If anyone would like to remind me of why I'm wrong, please let me know. Next. Yamcha versus Super 17. Super 17, I'm going to give it to because like, I don't think Yamcha 1 was ever strong enough to even hold a contest against that. And 2, I don't think he'd be able to find out about 17's gimmick that he had of no energy can be used, like Spirit Ball, and Wolfang Fist wouldn't do shit against him. So I'm going to give it 17. Not much of a contest, in my opinion. Next. Ai Shenron versus Super Buu Gohan Absorbed. Okay. So the question here is, Ai's wasn't that strong. Like, I'm pretty sure Goku, like, when he actually just managed to get a couple hits on him, just like one-punched him with just a Dragon Fist. And I don't think he had to wear him down for that. I think Ai's just got a lucky shot of hitting him in the eyes with a, like, Ice Claw attack that blinded him. He just became a nuisance for when Sen Shenron showed up. So, I'm gonna give it to... power scaling is the issue here, because Ai Shenron is at the end of GT, which we already mentioned. Someone from earlier in GT probably could beat Buu. Wait, was it Buu? Who was it? I don't know. Oh, it was Vegito. I want to give it... Can Buu be frozen? Can Buu be frozen? Because Ai's whole ability was to be able to freeze Goku. And Goku couldn't break out of it. Could he? I don't remember if Nova let him out or Goku broke out. I don't remember. I'm going to give it... I'm going to make this so you guys decide. I feel like Ai's would be able to do it just because of power scaling. But also I remember Buu with, again, Gohan Absorbed, which there's other Buus on here with like Piccolo Absorbed, Gotenks Absorbed. We're just getting only the Gohan Absorbed one for some reason. You guys decide. I'm going to move on to the next one. Piccolo from Dragon Ball Super Superhero or Yajirobe? Well, I just think, like, Z Saga Piccolo. Z Saga? What the fuck? Saiyan Saga. I don't know why I went Z Saga. Saiyan Saga Piccolo, I think, could roll. Just put a hole in Yajirobe, right? Could Yajirobe beat Demon King Piccolo? Even? Like, he could be. Didn't he beat one of, like, Demon King Piccolo's lackeys that he spit out? He did, didn't he? Goku steals his fish. Then, I think it's Symbol shows up. Or, Tambourine. Was it Tambourine? And Yajirobe eats him. I'm giving it to Piccolo here. I'm just trying to remember something. Piccolo, obviously, next. Android 20. Garlic Jr. I'm just going to skip the Garlic Jr. Immortality ones. Again, iffy. However, for some reason, I feel like Garlic would do better against Gero. Not that he'd win, just that he'd be able to do stuff against that one. Because Gero was not, like, the strongest android. I think 20 was stronger, wasn't he? I don't know. Next. A single metal cooler versus Bojack. I'm not going to do the, like, comparable to Arc, you know, because he just happens to be around, like, after Cell Saga, but before Buu Saga, that it just goes to Bojack. Because, here's the thing, Metal Cooler happens... I think Metal Cooler happens before... The way the Metal Cooler movie happens, it's like before Super Saiyan... Like, the bulky Super Saiyan happens. It's also in Future Trunks, it's just not present, I don't think. So, it's like... It's like when Gero and 20 show up, Android 20, I mean. It's like around that time. Even though, again, we cannot use an exact placement of it. It is around that time, because Vegeta has Super Saiyan in this. So I'm going to put it about there. Super Saiyan 2 isn't even a thing yet. And it took Super Saiyan 2 Gohan to beat Bojack. I'm going to give it to Bojack here, like the full power, strong Bojack, against a single Metal Cooler, meaning more don't show up, it's just one. I'm going to give it to Bojack. I feel like Bojack could knock out Metal Cooler. Moving on. Zarbon versus Gogeta from Dragon Ball GT. Gogeta. In base form, could take out Zarbon from Dragon Ball GT. Or, well, Gogeta from Dragon Ball GT. You get the point. Moving on. Jiren versus the Sigma Force. So the Metal Ginyu Force, basically, from GT. Jiren, definitely. Jiren was just naturally strong, just out the gate. I don't think the entire Sigma Force, not even the Sigma Force canon, could be able to beat Jiren, in my opinion. Because I don't think they did the thing where they could freeze people. That was Rildo. So, definitely Jiren. Hyper Meta Rildo, which is the... I think it's the one with the Sigma Force, but not the one where he's all, like... No, it is the one where he's all, like... without any armor. He's just... his skin color is his entire body. He can meld it with the planet a lot better. I think that's him. But GT Krillin, though, who's, like, an old man... who 17 just, like, kills in one shot. It's going to be Rildo here, but I just can't remember if Hyper Meta Rildo is the one where he's wearing the Sigma Force or not, or melded with the Sigma Force. I don't know. But Rildo wins. Next. Okay, so Vegeta wins here, but it's... wait. No, we're not waiting. Vegeta wins here. Because here's the thing. The Power Brothers did a really stupid gimmick that even made Goku, who would be stronger than peak Majin Buu Saga Vegeta, in my opinion, do a dance. That does not mean, in my opinion, that they'd be stronger than, like, anyone. They're kind of on here as a joke, honestly. Just the idea of them fighting people is kind of funny. Because, oh no, Vegeta's frozen. He could just, literally, if it's just like he just needs to beat them, he could just blow himself up. Like, he just could, honestly. I don't think there's any competition here. Next. Tapion versus Omega Shenron. I'm going to give it to Omega, but that would be a pretty honorable stand, I'd say. But Omega, definitely. With all the power of the Shadow Dragons and just being as strong as he is, I don't think Tapion would have a chance here. But it's still a neat matchup, I guess. Next. Peak Majin Buu Saga Goku versus Future Mai. So, I do want to bring up real quick, while definitely Goku would win against a, again, practically normal human with just war experience. I kind of wouldn't call that a war, but you know what I mean. If Mai has that really specific sniper that could have actually blown a hole in Goku Black's head. So if she gets a lucky shot, maybe? But I don't think so. I'm going to give it to Goku. Next. Peak Tournament of Power Vegeta versus Mercenary Tao. Okay, so obviously... See, a lot of the normal characters that don't have powers are kind of on here, hopefully, to get bumped up with each other. But this ain't even a competition. Dodon Ray ain't gonna do shit against Super Saiyan Blue Evolved. Next. Oob? So Majoob versus Xeno Vegeta. Okay, so Xeno Vegeta. I'm just gonna say Xeno Vegeta has just, like, peak Vegeta and peak GT Vegeta abilities. Like, honestly, that's what I'm just gonna say with the Xeno characters. Because, like, there's not much you can just add. However, I think Xeno Vegeta just had a freak-ass ability to have a thing beyond Evolved. Wasn't it called, like, Evil Mode or something like that? I don't know. I'm gonna give it to Vegeta. But Oob is a pretty strong character himself, so I don't know. Probably neat fight-up. Or matchup. I don't know if I said fight-up. Next. Oop. Click. Lord Slug Before Wish versus Peak Cell Saga Piccolo. So an old-ass Namekian versus a really, really strong Namekian. Next. Oob End of Z versus Peak Namek Saga Vegeta. Okay. So, Vegeta after he's revived on Namek versus Oob, the reincarnation of Majin Buu. Or Kid Buu, specifically. Evil Buu. There you go. There's not a competition here, I don't think, again, but it's just maybe interesting. You know what I mean? Like, this whole thing is doing, like, a lot of things where it's just, like, characters you would never even see looking at each other, because one, time, and then two, just really strange matchups I think are kind of interesting. Next. Kui versus Oob, beginning of GT. So, Oob on this one, however, because Kui is, like, right up, or is beginning of Namek Saga, so it's, like, not even competition. Next. Semi-Perfect Cell versus Yajirobe. Semi-Perfect Cell would kick him like a fucking volleyball, or not volleyball, beach ball. Soccer ball. I don't know. A ball. He'd be going really far. Next. Ox King versus Recoome. Recoome broke Gohan's neck, and Ox King is definitely not on the same level as Gohan at the time. So Recoome, but funny, I guess. Is the Ox King bigger than Recoome? I don't know. Next. A single Metal Core versus Super Buu Gohan absorbed. Why is this the only one that pops up? I'm going to look at the thing in a little bit, see if that's the only... Because I know, like, regular Super Buu is in here. We had another Super Buu earlier. I don't know. I'm going to give it to Super Buu. Next. Nappa versus 2 Metal Coolers. Metal Coolers. Bojack versus Resurrection F Frieza. Resurrection F Frieza. Broly. In this one, obviously. It's Krillin. Jesus. Cumber versus Manga Frieza. Manga Frieza, by far. Again, if you've read the last chapter of the Granola arc, you know why. Next. Manga Vegeta versus Bardock from the special he gets Super Saiyan. So when he fought Shield. Vegeta, but neat, I guess. Peep Cell Saga Gohan versus Hyper Metal Rildo. Rildo, but only because... Wait, no, it's Cell Saga Gohan. Still, no. He almost beat Gohan in GT, didn't he? Well, I mean, GT Gohan ain't really that strong, but still, like... Rildo, but, like, I don't think much competition at all, but just... Nah, I'm gonna get off this one. Turles Before the Fruit versus Gogeta. Just Gogeta wins. Fuse Zamasu from the manga versus Pilaf's gang loses immediately. Just, obviously. I don't think that's, again, much of a fight. Some of these fights are, like, really funny, though. Like, just the concept of some of these are really funny. Next. Android 21 versus the Power Brothers. Again, Android 21. 3 Cybermen versus Broly. Where's the original Broly? I know he's in here. Metal Cooler with Golden Cooler. So from Heroes versus Pui Pui. Shame that got wasted on Pui Pui, because Pui Pui's rolled. Peak GT Goku versus Goku Black from the anime. So GT Goku I'm going to give it to, but I wish there was a Goku Black situation in GT. Or I wish Heroes would do something from that, like giving Goku Black GT transformations. I think that would look cool. I don't know. Rose 4 would be kind of, or just a Rose colored 4 would be neat, like saying, oh, this ain't a different transformation, it's just a different color for it, but I think that'd be really cool personally. Because we don't need another upgrade to Super Saiyan 4 from Heroes. But anyway, next. Xeno Gogeta versus Jaco. So, Gogeta. But still nice to see that we got a Jaco, though. Next. Android 14 versus Recoome. 14 is the purple one, right? I'm going to give it to the Android, but that's funny. Or is... No, 14's the silver one. Either way. Wait. I don't remember which one it is. It's one of the two. Anyway. P-Kid Gohan. That's really not specific. Are we talking like before Cell Saga? I'm going to say before Cell Saga. Versus Peak Cell Saga Vegeta. So this is Leave My Daddy Alone Gohan / Namek Saga Gohan, which I don't know why I wrote it like this. Anyway, Vegeta for sure. Next. King Cold versus Future Trunks Saga Vegeta. So this is Goku Black arc. Why did I not just call it that? Future Trunks Saga Vegeta. Yeah, that's Goku Black arc, I'm pretty sure. Because they didn't just call Future Trunks Saga and Z. Weird, but giving it to Vegeta, obviously. Next. Nail, Golden Core. Again, with Metal. Metal Cooler. Next. Oh, okay. Well, the issue with Fuse Zamasu is he's kind of immortal, so we're going to give it to Zamasu, but neat fight, I guess. Vegito from Dragon Ball Super, or Cumber. Why do I feel like this happened in Heroes, but, like, with a different version of Vegito? Oh. I'm thinking of the time Cumber had to fight Ultra Instinct Goku, though. Didn't Goku win, like, really easily, though, with that? I don't think it was much of a fight. I think it just looked cool. I don't think it was much of an actual battle. I'm gonna give it to Vegito. Actually, I'm gonna give it to Cumber. Say I'm wrong. Give me a reason and think otherwise, because I feel like it wouldn't take much convincing. Cumber. Next. 50 metal cores versus the Sigma Force. I feel like the Sigma Force could do some, like, really cool, like, bullshit with the metal on metal coolers. So I'm going to give it to the Sigma Force, actually, because I feel like they could jank that a bunch. Because they could just blend in with his body, and then all of them would just be blowing up each other, so I don't know. I'm going to give it to the Sigma Force, actually, with that, because they're just made for fighting, or just melding with metal and technology in general. Sigma Force, next. Broly from Dragon Ball Z versus peak Dragon Ball Z Krillin. I believe Krillin fought Bio Broly, and I believe he had to team up with Goten and Trunks to be able to beat Bio Broly, let alone actual Broly. So I'm going to give it to Broly. But just nice to know Krillin's here. DBS Future Trunks Saga. Wait, so did I specify? Anyways, Trunks here, but, like, now I'm confused. I don't know. Next. Launch versus Lord Slug. Lord Slug. Peak Majin Buu Saga Gohan versus Perfect Cell. Huh. This is actually brought up in Fighters, wherever they talk to each other in story mode. And he asks him, does he think he could beat him again? I'm going to give it to Gohan. Because I just feel like Ultimate Gohan's a little bit stronger than Cell Saga Gohan. But, you know, and I don't mean a little bit, like, sarcastically, you know what I mean. But that'd be a really fun matchup. In fact, we're actually going to go ahead and leave it there, because this video started to already be roughly an hour long. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there, and I'm going to upload this video completely unedited. I'll make probably not an edited version of this in the future, but if you want to see more of this, and actually want to see me put some time and effort into making this kind of video, I will. Let me know in the comments below, leave a like on the video if you liked it, and also I could stream this if y'all wanted me to. That's another thing I can just casually do. So, if you want to see that, let me know. If you disagree with anything I said in the video, go ahead and leave a comment saying why. I don't mind. I'd love to know your reasoning behind it. And if you want to see, again, adjectives, such as, like, ate a fruit of the tree of might, or has Super Saiyan 3 if they could do it. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. So or locations even. I don't think they'd matter, but who knows. Let me know. Leave a comment if you want to see that kind of stuff. If not, I don't know. Either way, see you all in the next one. Have a good night. Or day. It's currently, like, midnight recording this. That's why I said goodnight. Anyways, peace.